John chapter 4, verse 22 says, "You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, because salvation is from the Jews." This is Jesus continuing this conversation about how the temples are going to be obsolete and worship will be absolutely different. But he's also saying, look, you are a Samaritan. He's affirming that for this woman. He is a Jew. He's affirming that kind of with the you and the we. He's saying, you Samaritans worship what you do not know. You're worshiping God with all the mechanics of it, all the works, all the rules. You're using the name in the Old Testament and the fathers, right? You're talking about having ties to Abraham. However, God and you are not in a relationship. You've monkeyed this up. You've falsified it, and you're using all the same words. You're using all the same names, and yet there's not a relationship there. And if you knew the Bible, he's saying, you know that salvation comes from the people of the Jews. And so in the Old Testament, this hill in Jerusalem with a temple on it, that's where God dictated that would happen. You can't just change the words and change the meaning of the same words and make this thing up. You've got to accept and know the revelation that comes from God. And so Jesus is really calling out the Samaritan religion and saying that's no good. He's also saying, look, the Old Testament and the New Testament go together, and even though the Old Testament system is going to be wiped out, that salvation comes from these people, from Jewish people, and in fact, Jesus is a Jewish person here. And in the next verse, he's going to talk about how a lot of this is going to change, and true worship is going to come in a completely different way. So he's taking the time. Jesus is talking with this woman. He says, I want to teach you, and I want you to understand. But I think also this is recorded here in John's gospel for us, that we would understand that we need to accept what God is telling us as truth and not try to redefine it like these Samaritans were, creating new ways to worship.